Hi guys, welcome back to my channel The Badass Joker. Today I'm going to talk about one of the best Indian sitcom ever made in India that every millennial will remember for generations to come. Just like the famous Indian movie like Jaane Bhi Do Yaro of the 80s and the Indian TV show like Dig by Dig of the 90s, the early 2000s, or as we famously call it, the Y2K era, marked the beginning of a breakthrough in the Indian television, especially with various sitcom shows. One such show that certainly stands out from the pack is Sarabhai vs. Sarabhai. This show took the cake, the baker, and the bakery in the department of sarcasm, thanks to the stellar acting and brilliant storyline. Now, I would certainly like to mention here without fail that the channel in which Sarabhai vs. Sarabhai was broadcasted was an awesome channel that had televised some amazing shows like Great Indian Laughter Challenge, Bluff Master, Special Squad, etc., that certainly made the channel stand out from the pack. But unfortunately, the channel was closed in the year 2011 and was rebranded as Life OK, that's now a part of the huge Star network. Now, coming back to the point, for people who don't know, the first season of Sarabhai vs. Sarabhai was aired in the year 2004 and ended in the early 2006, where Sarabhai vs. Sarabhai Take 2, that is Season 2, were broadcasted online from May to July of 2017. Well, there never was, and in all probability never ever will be, any anthological sitcom as brilliantly written and executed as that of Sarabhai vs. Sarabhai for some very obvious reasons. It was a perfectly timed show that was perhaps way ahead of its time. It had some of the best artists from the industry with a background from theatre. The show had an amazing director who was himself an intelligent actor, well exposed to cinema right from an early age. It had a fantastic creative team that could come up with some silly yet equally amazing dialogues. And as I mentioned earlier, it was aired in one of the most fabulous TV channel called Star One. In fact, many famous names like Mallika Sherawat, Mandira Bedi, Praveen Dabbas, Amir Ali, and the entire star cast of Khichdi appeared on this show's first season. Initially, when the show was originally aired on TV, it did not really receive enough TRP to carry on. But only when the show was rerun again did people took notice of it and realized how brilliantly the show was. And that led to an online debate and discussions regarding the revival of the show, perhaps as season 2. And after a lot of thought, the producers of the show decided to come up with a second season. But that, unfortunately, did not live up to the expectations of the audiences, and that's why ended just after a couple of episodes. The big issue with season 2 of this show was the voiceover, which seemed a bit artificial to me personally. And unlike the previous season, the dubbing was done at the studio and not on the sets while shooting the scenes. Secondly, talking about the setting, to me personally, I thought the entire season, it came across as a weak point in the narrative as the new penthouse was so palatial that it took away from the neighbor next door appeal of the first season. The new settings seemed synthetic as opposed to the warmth that the former one emitted. But I'm neither a critic nor a cynic, so would definitely appreciate it for the simple reason that every single character had retained that original charm despite the time leap of 7 years as shown on screen. Good writing and a great set of actors was a winning formula of the show's first season. Though new characters were added to the mix in the second season, the old ones certainly stood out from the pack and were brilliant as they were in the first season. Now, for people who obsess about international shows like Friends but haven't watched a single episode of Sarabhai vs. Sarabhai, you should grab a large bowl of popcorn and glass of soda to enjoy every episode of the show right now. Well, that's it for today, guys. I can go on and on and on talking about this wonderful sitcom, and it would still be not enough. So I would finally wrap up here to catch up and go and see the episode of Sarabhai vs. Sarabhai. If you really liked my video, please give it a thumbs up. Definitely do leave your comments in the comment section below. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel by smashing on the subscribe and bell button that's right down below the video. Also, stay tuned about the latest updates on the channel, following me on my channel Instagram at The Badass Joker, the link of which is given down in the description box below. Let's meet next time. Until then, it's bye from Suja. Bye-bye.